My name is David Siddons and I'm president of the David Siddons Group, and I'm here with Irit Daxel at 2200 Brickell. So those who watch our new construction videos know that what we do is we try to dive in to the projects that we think are worthy to talk about, and we try to avoid sycophantic, stereotypical language about products and developers. Stuff that you can get online, that you can go through their website and you can see what's going on. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to go into the project. We're going to ask the tough questions, the questions that you no doubt would ask me, to legitimize whether you should invest in a project. And then we're going to get into the specific units that we believe are worthy of your attention. Now, this particular video, we are going to focus on something that we don't often do, which is we're going to go into something which is more affordable. Okay. We often talk about luxury product, we'll talk about Mandarin, we'll talk about the Four Seasons, we'll talk about Paragon, and these buildings where you're going to pay $4 or $5 million and up. For this time, we're going to talk about product that you can buy around and under $2 million. And this is a big conversation for investors out there who don't have all the money in the world, but want to buy something that they believe has some unique aspects to it, has some value, and ultimately could be a good investment for them to make for a medium to long-term view. So, Irit, thank you for doing this with us. We're standing in front of the model for the project. And the first thing that I think is worthy to talk about, explain the project to the audience very, very quickly. And let's talk a little bit about and get into the location, because that's really key to start with, so you can really understand where this is.
So we are first of all located in the best location in Brickell. It's a residential part of Brickell, which is very quiet and very nice and very close to Coconut Grove and Key Biscayne. We are just steps away from I-95, so you can escape the traffic of Brickell. The project itself, when you look at the projects, it feels like a resort, and it's one-of-a-kind product in Brickell as a low rise. So you can see it's boutique 105 residences featuring one plus den, two plus den, three plus den, and also we have another product which is unique, is 15 garden villas, and we still have few available. You can see this is a very unique lifestyle, I would say, in a sense of privacy. We have a very unique proposition to parking. You able to park on the same level of your residence. So it gives a great opportunity to have in and out and comfort. At the same time, we have lots of amenities, which is unique to this kind of product as a boutique building. We have amenities on the first level, and then we have 1 acre of amenities on the 5th.
We were talking about this earlier on, and again, this is a very real conversation that we try to have. We were looking at this scale here, and it's like 1.7 acres on the roof, and I know there's sections here that are, you know, for the air conditioning stacks. This is actually a really big footprint, and I used to live in the south side of Brickell. I now live in Ponce Davis, but the south side of Brickell, where it's located, you know, you typically, this is one of the only locations you could have this type of building. When you go to the north side of Brickell, you get swamped with high rises. So when you look on the map, this south side, where you're standing, it's all single family homes, isn't it? It's all houses.
Exactly.
Which kind of is a little bit like where I spend a lot of time in Coconut Grove, which is, again, you know, buildings where you see townhouses and single family homes, which is 90% of the market. Brickell is almost all condos, but this south side is a little step away from the noise. And Brickell is a great, fantastic, high energy location, but not everybody wants to be in the middle of the energy.
Perfect. So we will always say we're in Brickell, but we're out of Brickell in a way, from all the traffic. So you have this privacy in a sense, and you also have the access to I-95, so you always can escape as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very unique location for sure, and the proximity to Key Biscayne and Coconut Grove definitely gives this kind of lifestyle that you can enjoy all the worlds.
Yeah, I noticed you're pinning a lot of the buyer profile on this. So again, if you're thinking like, would I be the right buyer for this? My anticipation is that the audience who will look at this will not be an early 20-something crowd who want to be in a high-rise building and surrounded by 300, 400, 500 other residents. The phobia of being around lots and lots of people. And I don't think you even need to be phobic of that. It's just, you just don't want to be in an elevator with 2 or 3 people every time you leave your unit. You mentioned the house experience. And
Yes.
I think I'm starting to understand what you meant by that, because admittedly, look, houses are big. I mean, there are more footprints, you have yards, but the thing you have with a house is when you come home at the end of the day, you pull into your driveway, you walk into your house, you don't have to see anybody. You're just probably tired and you've just had a full day, and the last thing you want to do is have to have a full-blown conversation with half a dozen strangers. You just drive in, park your car, and go into your unit. And
Exactly.
that's kind of what I feel you've made with how many units in the total building?
105 residences. And remember, the amenities are extension to your lifestyle. So if you want to go to the pool, again, you can take elevator, but you can also walk. So you have the flexibility to manage your time wisely, I would say.
There's a gym on the lower level. You've got your parking. You've got a concierge desk.
It's playgrounds.
Playgrounds, and actually that's quite a nice point. So one of the things, and again, just as a demographist, and I talk about the demographics and the human behavior, there is a profile of buyer with those who are exiting out of their single life, and they've got kids, and probably got, let's say, very young kids, and they are looking for something where they can still be in Brickell, but they can raise a family or start to raise a family. And up until this point, the only place that you could really do that was Brickell Key, which I personally have a big love affair with, which is great. And of course, there you have the Mandarin project, but that is a totally different price point and a totally different product. Here, you can be on that south side, and there's enough green space. And the walk along the south side of Brickell, and again, just showing what the south side of Brickell looks like, it looks really, really different to the north side of Brickell. It looks like a completely different neighborhood. And this is where you are. So if you like riding your bike, going for a run, everybody who seems to go running in Brickell seems to want to run down the south side of Brickell Avenue.
We have quarter-of-mile walking, running tracks. You literally can stay in a building. You don't have to leave. You can walk and run and jog on your building, on your rooftop, which is great, and play pickleball.
Which is the new thing that everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a proper review without diving into the numbers and asking the hard questions. So if you don't know the Brickell market right now and you're looking to buy a property and you're doing your research, you will see that resales at the newer product that's built from 2015 onwards is currently running somewhere around $900 to $1,000 a square foot. There are a few that are trading at $1,200, $1,300 a square foot, but those are penthouse units, high floor units in those types of buildings. And of course, they're finished, they're painted, they've got blinds and blackouts and furniture and some accessories put in and other upgrades. You're coming in at $1,200 a square foot or around that kind of number, averaging. Why would I spend $1,200 a square foot on a new product that I have to wait 2 years for?
Which is just 2 years, remember that.
Which is 2 years.
Just
well,
2
we'll
years.
get to that, which is a fair point because it's only 2 years. But why would I pay $1,200 a square foot and wait 2 years when I can go and buy something right now for like $900 a square foot?
You need to check the assessments on the buildings and all
well,
the
these are the
new
new buildings. So these
Yes.
new buildings have
new buildings.
Bedded in.
We don't have that. That's what I'm saying.
Right now, take us through like where you see the value for those buyers paying that kind of money. Given that, what sets you apart?
I'm going back to single family home living in this building. Okay, so I'm not comparing my lifestyle or our experience to high rises. Okay, this is like, I like to compare apples to apples. We are a totally different product. I would say this is really close to single family home living that we actually surround by the houses. So you can take a look, those houses in different price point, the 5 million range, right? So you can buy a product which is pretty affordable with amazing lifestyle, new building with all those amenities. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity in this location. And Miami, as we discussed, you and I before, the traffic is getting really impossible, but you're in the best location possible in Miami, close 5 minutes away from Coconut Grove, Key Biscayne, top schools, top parks, so top restaurants. You have everything in this location, so it's worth buying, and it's a new construction.
So, if I hear you right, we're going to use this as a point to move away from the high-rise living and using those numbers. Because if you want high-rise living, you just go and live in a high-rise. If you don't want that, This is the only building
Yes.
right now that's new construction in this market that's a low-level building, or
Correct,
a lower
in
level
Brickell.
building.
There is no other one.
The
Yes.
things that people always ask me, and again, I know we've done over 35, nearly 40 reviews of new construction condos. Everyone asks me the same thing. When's it going to be delivered, and will it be delivered on time to the level that I'm anticipating it should be delivered? Will I get what I think I'm paying for? And is it then worth the wait? So I'm going to address those questions because I think this is what everybody ends up asking me. Most of the new construction right now, if you go through Brickell, is going to be 2027, 2028 or beyond. Why? Because if you've watched my interview with my good friend Craig Studnicki, who runs ISG Related, he'll tell you that once you get above a certain height in a building, it takes that much longer to build the building. Right now, as we stand in May 2024, construction loan costs are 4%. Building a high-rise is very expensive. It costs a lot more money, it costs a lot more time. And if you're going to manage your budgets accordingly, developers sometimes slow down the construction process because they honestly don't want to break ground when they're paying 10% on an interest. If they can kick the can down the street a little bit, they will. Because a 10% interest compared to an 8% interest on a construction loan is millions and millions of dollars on $1 billion project. This is going to come up out of the ground and be ready in 2 years, which is actually very, very fast.
Yes.
That is quick.
Yeah.
It's 105 units, so bear that in mind. It's low level, bear that in mind. We've already broken ground. You've got your construction loan.
Absolutely.
That's already in place. With Ozark, was it Ozark Bank?
Ozark, yes.
Okay. You've got your your GC, your builders in place, ready to go. So everything right now, there's no hidden surprises that buyers can expect in this process. They won't end up in a position like some developments, and I won't say the names because I don't want to get sued, who are like 3 or 4 years late. It will be or should be on time. Again, when you watch this video, give me a call and we'll dive into, off camera, the developer, the builder, and the pedigree and everything that goes with it. I'm going to raise that point about single family living.
Okay.
Just so you have some numbers, okay?
Yes.
So I sell a lot of houses in Coconut Grove and Coral Gables. And if you buy a new house right now, more of the spec box coming out of the ground, not a custom home, but more of a spec home through the Grove or the Gables, is going to run you about $1,250 to $1,300 a square foot. Of course, you're factoring in maybe a 10,000 square foot lot, around a 4,000 square foot house with a pool. When you get custom homes, you go higher. Townhouses right now, if you want a newer townhouse, there's a handful of them in the Grove for sale. They're all ranging from 2.7 up to 3.5. Now, builders don't build small houses. Why? Because, well, in the Grove, you can build on 80% of your lot. So no matter what you're doing, you're going to maximize the space. And that means the entry point for a new construction home is not going to come in until you get to around $5 million. $4.5, $5 million, really $5 million and up. Not everyone has $5 million. We grant that. So if you want that kind of house experience, but you've only got, let's say, $2 million, then now you actually have a product that can fit that shell. Because I do see that there is a move away from high-rise condo living. So let's look now, with that in mind, at the larger units, the 3 bedrooms, the villa, and some of the combinations. Take us through this side of the building and the units that are what you consider the best units right now. And let's analyze those.
We have a very unique product, which is garden villas, 15 of those. We have only 3 available. They are starting in high 1.8 million range. Those are 2 bedrooms plus office.
Now, with that said, we're a residential realtor, so we measure on flat square footage, which is the square footage. If you're a commercial agent, you would measure cubic square feet. Now in those, you've got double height ceiling. Correct. So the actual volume of the unit is much greater than 1,450 square feet.
Absolutely.
If I was to add a slab across to make up the difference of that volume, it would probably go up to about 1,700 or 1,800 square feet.
Yes,
but you have a double
very
height.
large terrace with summer kitchen also to keep in mind.
How high are the ceilings? So if you're
18
in there,
feet.
so from the ground all the way up to your second level, you're looking at 18 feet height
yes.
ceilings. And that's with double windows. So you've got windows on the
Correct.
lower, windows on the upper. It's going to give you a lot more light. And then the terraces, how big are they?
They're ranging from 700 square feet, depends, something like that, averaging.
So I'm going to give you some quick math on that because I want to, before I jump into these next ones. Okay, so you've got 1,450 square feet of living. You've got cubic square foot, which is much greater, which will feel more like 1,700 or 1,800 because the volume is more. And then you've got 700 square feet of terrace, which is functional and usable. Correct. So your operational space is much greater. And if coming in at $1.8 million, if I take you into the Grove, or 1.8 or 1.8 or above.
Close to 1.9, let's say.
Okay. So if I take you into the Grove and you try to find something like this, you won't actually right now. Unfortunately, you won't find anything like this. So that could be for somebody who might be a young family with a baby that's looking for a place that's a good investment, that can be, this experience. You may have just found your product. So that's that. Let's go to the next one up.
And the next one is H, which is 3 bedrooms plus den. Those are also priced in 1.9 range. So it's a different lifestyle. It's larger because it's 1,800 square feet, and also it's you have 3 plus dens. So for the family, dens are a great opportunity because they're convertible. You have full access to the bathroom and a shower. So if somebody wants a little more space and more bedrooms, so this is another opportunity, about the same price, I would say.
Okay.
We still have some available.
So again, these are lower floor units. So again, it's not the high-rise experience that you'll get, but if you want something which is a bit more boutique and you're looking for a 3-bedroom plus a den, this is actually a pretty big amount, it's a good amount of space. It's going to feel a lot more intimate and boutique and private. Yeah, obviously your extra space you have up here. So
absolutely.
The functionality
here and
of
the
this.
First floor amenities facing east. This is facing
So that could
west.
be a good option. I do feel there is a good class of buyer who just doesn't want to buy that high-rise product in Brickell.
Absolutely.
And they would be more likely to say, look at something, let's say, like a low-floor 3-bedroom at Mr. C. So if you look at my previous videos and you watch the video that I did on Mr. C, which is now opening in a month, which is a fantastic building, there a 3-bedroom, 1,800 square foot unit on resale is going to cost you on a lower floor on the Tiger Tail side, which is the back side of the building, is going to cost you in the high 3s into the 4s. And this is sub 2. So this is half the price. So it's definitely of consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go into...
And we have a larger 3 bedrooms. They're J's. They are just, the largest is 2,000 square feet.
Okay, so that's 2,000, and that's on this
above 2
corner
million. I would say 2.5 range.
Okay, is that the biggest one you've got? That's the largest you've got
we created one, another floor plan. We combined 2 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms and 3.5, and created 4 bedrooms. So we have few available of 4 bedrooms, which is 1,900 square feet.
Okay. So there is going to be a demographic of buyer for this who will look at this, and it could be somebody who's working for the new businesses coming into Brickell. And there's a lot of companies, and they're not fully here yet, they're not fully bedded in. We've talked about this a lot. The Citadel haven't built their office yet, but they are all coming. There is definitely a product, this is a product for a specific type of buyer. If you think you're this type of buyer, and if you are questioning the investment validity of something like this because you want something special, I've always said generic product gets crushed. So if you keep building same but different, don't expect it to go up in value. It just won't.
Absolutely.
This just might have some of the characteristics that fit you, and just might be able to be unique enough to hold its own as time goes on and Brickell gets busier. And one thing we all agree upon, traffic ain't gonna get any simpler. There's gonna be more traffic, and getting away from it and out of it is gonna become more and more needed and apparent to the lifestyle of the residents of Brickell. Thank you so much for doing this video.
Thank you so much for coming.
As always, we're unbiased. I don't work for the developer, I'm independent. We try to give you the independent analysis that you want. We have all the numbers across the market, whether it's Miami Beach or Brickell or Coconut Grove. We know our dollar per square foot, and we can give you our months of inventory and really give you deep dive analysis. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for another David Siddons Group video. Thank you.